We got one person in here. Just waiting to get a couple more people in here. We got some questions to answer. I posted a thing on my story. Oh, we got Raiden in here. Yo. Both people in the live are both people I know. That's depressing. What's up, Carson? What's up, Thunderstruck? Wait till we get a couple more people in here. What's up, Butterbean? Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's pretty cool. Hi, Riley. Get a couple more people in here, and we will answer some questions from Instagram and then answer any other questions that you guys have. Hello from Central Florida. Yeah, I think I know where you live, Reagan. Just get a couple more people in here. Guess what? This truck's still ain't on the road yet. That's depressing. When you announcing the giveaway winner, I already announced it. All 3 winners have already been shipped their shirts. Already shipped out the rock lights, Move, and Super Clean. Already shipped out the product. If you missed that video, I have it on private now because we already have the winners selected. But we did already ship out everything. Hello from North Central Florida. What's your experience with CB radio? I don't really know anything about CB radio. My Ford had one in it when I got it and I took it out, but I've never really used one. The only time I've ever used one is hooking one to a PA and using the microphone to talk into it and yell at people. That is the only time I've ever used a CB radio. What's up from Wisconsin? What's going on, Steve? What's up, Dawson? Doing good. How you doing, man? All right, now that we got some more people in here, let's start answering some questions from Instagram earlier. So I posted on my Instagram story. If you guys aren't already following me, just go follow me. It's at Aaron Cates on Instagram. Yes, I had a good weekend, Reagan. But I posted on my Instagram story, any questions you want answered, ask away, and I'd answer them in the video. So one of our first questions is, why did you buy a 42 and not a 44 for the Ford? So the whole reason I went with a 42 instead of a 44 is because they don't make a 44 for a 24-inch rim and just a standard tire. You'd have to buy a Bodder or a Super Swamp or something like that. Why is it so spicy? You'd have to buy a Bodder or a Super Swamp or something like that in order to get anything above a 42. And like I stated in one of my previous videos, a 44 for just a Bodder, you're looking at like $3,000-$4,000 just for a tire. And then you have to buy the rims separately. You have to have them mounted and balanced somewhere locally, anything like that. Just a big headache when it comes down to it at the end of the day. It's easier to just buy a pre-packaged setup like I did from Mr. Wheel Deal, have it all mounted and balanced and shipped directly to you. That's why I went with the 42. It was the biggest tire size I could get in a tire and wheel package. Let's see, we had a couple questions in here. What do you think about that boy Sierra status? I think his Sierra is pretty damn clean. Hi, Salt. What's up, Scape? Tiffany, I played with myself with my fingers for over 4 hours today. I wish I wouldn't have read that out loud. Okay, then. Best and worst part of owning a Cat Eye. Best part is there are endless companies that make aftermarket parts for these trucks. Anywhere from bumpers, headlights, grills, hoods, mirrors, rims and tires, performance, lifts, things like that. There's just endless companies that make parts for these trucks. You can never run out of a list of things to mod on these trucks because it never ends. The worst part about it is everyone owns one of these trucks. Everyone and their brother has a Cat Eye. So it's not like you just have something that stands out. That's why I did a purple Cat Eye, because when I originally wrapped the truck purple, there wasn't any other purple Cat Eyes. And now, ever since I wrapped it, there's quite a few of them Not saying I started that, just so happens that after I wrapped the cat eye purple, there just happened to be so many other purple cat eyes. But that's about the only way to get your cat eye to stand out, is to do something different. Let's read a couple of these. When and how did you get into the truck game? That is actually a question that got asked on Instagram earlier, was how did I get into building trucks? And it actually started after I got the Ford. I had the Ford about a year, and I had posted it for sale. I wanted to buy a car. I was tired of paying the gas bill to drive the Ford to and from school and then to work, baseball games, everything like that, and I wanted to get a car. And then I transferred schools and I became friends with somebody I'm not friends with anymore. But we had an online class, and we used to spend all day in that class just looking up truck parts, light bars, rock lights, 20 by 12s. That was when, if you had 20 by 12s, a light bar on your roof and rock lights, you're big dick in town. So I spent all day just looking at those different things, and it got me into wanting to mod trucks. And then I became friends with my buddy Justin Dillamone, and we started just doing stupid stuff to our trucks all the time. And it just went from spray painting my lift with Rust-Oleum cans that we sat in the Walmart aisle just trying to color match to my truck with a Rust-Oleum blue, to spray painting bumpers, putting in different headlights and taillights. And it just went from there and on to where I'm at today, of painting my truck in my garage, mounting tires by hand, just crazy things like that. What's up, bro, from North Carolina? What's going on, Jerson? Doesn't say anything. Total love and respect for the Project Blue Thunder, brother. Bro, I love your Avalanche. Much respect to you. Thank you. And now we've got another question from Instagram. Have you ever wanted to build a car, and which one? Yes, I would like to actually build just about everything you can think of. I want to build a donk. I want to build a slam car. I want to build a bad car. I want to build a slam truck. I want to build a bad truck. I want to build an SUV. I want to build a lowered SUV. Like, throughout YouTube, I want to do a build of every different thing. I don't want to just stick to lifted trucks. I love lifted trucks, but I want to do other things. I want to do a lowered truck, a street truck, a lowered car, bad car. Just do crazy things. So yes, I would like to build a car. If I had to pick a car right now to build, it'd probably be a Mustang. I probably want like a newer 5.0 Mustang, just be able to put a little bit of a lowering kit on it and just make it fast. That would just be like right off my head right now. Go get a car and build it, be a Mustang. Daytona is less than a month away. Are you still planning on going? Yes, I already have a hotel booked. The Chevy is going to be in the Move Bumpers booth in the Speedway in Daytona, so definitely going to see that there. The Ford is also going to be there, because while the Chevy is in the booth, the Ford is going to be my only way of transportation. So you guys will see both trucks in Daytona. Which do you like more, the Ford or the Chevy? Okay, I love the Ford. I love the Ford more. The Chevy, I'm kind of to the point where I'm kind of tired of it. I've had it, and I've been nonstop working on it for the last almost 5 years now. And I'm kind of to the point where I don't want to work on it anymore. I'm kind of the point where I want something new, and the Ford is a nice like breather to get away from the Chevy, because I've lifted the Chevy. First, I did a 3-inch lift spindle, and then I did a leveling kit, and then I did the 6-inch rough country, and then I did the 6-inch rough country with the 2-inch lift springs, and then I did the body lift, and then I wrapped it, and hood swap, and grill swap, and bumpers and headlight. I've done 4 headlight builds on this truck. 2 different sets of mirrors. I've had like 15 different sets of rims and tires, headers, exhaust. I've done so many things to it, and now I'm painting it, and I'm painting the suspension and everything like that. It's kind of to the point where I've done almost everything to this truck where I don't want to do it anymore. And the Ford, I just solid axle swapped it and put it on 42s and 24s, and you guys love it. And it's kind of nice to just go work on something different. So I do sense a new build coming in the future, because I am getting pretty tired of the Chevy. Love the channel, the trucks. Can't wait to see them both all done up. Thanks, man. Is it worth it to put a body lift on? Yes, 100%. There's nothing wrong with a body lift at all. I don't get why there's such a big hatred towards body lifts. I have not had a single problem with mine. There's no body roll, anything like that. And if you do, like I said in the beginning, if you get gap darts, if you clean the frame and paint it, and you do bumper relocations, no one's gonna know. Everyone that sees my truck does not know it has a body lift on it. When I tell them it has a body lift, they're like, oh wow, really? And they get to look and they're like, yeah, it does. And they had no idea before. And the nice thing about the body lift is it creates that gap in between the body and the transmission, the body and the motor, and it just gives you more room to work on the truck. So if you have to replace an oil pressure sensor, you can reach back there. If you have to get to a head bolt or an exhaust manifold bolt or top of the motor and get to the intake, there's all these different things that before were a tight squeeze that now, since I have a 3-inch body lift, I have 3 extra inches of room. And if you don't think 3 inches is a lot, go ask your girlfriend. Just had to throw that in there. See what other comments we've got. How does a Chevy ride? It rides stiff. It rides like it has a leveling kit. And that is solely for the fact it has a rough country lift with lift springs combined into it. So rough country is already the lowest lift on the market. It's the most budget friendly, and rough country cuts most of the corners to make it budget friendly. So your angles aren't perfect to be done with just a 6-inch lift. So you go putting lift springs in with that lift, and your angles are gonna be pushing a thin line of far and then too far. So it doesn't ride like a Cadillac, but it doesn't ride like a dump truck either. You get good shocks, get aftermarket upper control arms, you'll be doing a little bit better then. Where did you get the body lift? So I actually bought the body lift used off of a guy off Facebook Marketplace. He had a parts truck. It was an extended cab. It was a GMC Sierra. Had a 3-inch body lift on it. Had the bumper relocation kits or the brackets. It was a Zone brand, and I asked him how much he wanted for it. It was $150. I went and bought it. And it needed all new bolts. All the old bolts were rusted and everything, so I had to contact Zone and spent, I think it was like $120 on all the new bolts. So all in all, I saved like $70 from buying it new. If I could go back, I would have just bought it brand new. One, I wouldn't have drove over an hour away to buy it, and I wouldn't have had to go through the headache of buying the bolts through Zone and sit on customer service for an hour and deal with all that. It would have just been easier just to buy it new. Why does my front end squeak? Could be multiple things. Could be inner and outer tie rods. Could be ball joints. Could be wheel hub. Could be brakes. Could be your steering intermediate shaft. Could be just about anything. The biggest thing is to jack your truck up to where your front tires come off the ground. Start moving things. Wiggle your tire up and down. That'll be ball joints. So if it's got play, odds are you have an upper or lower ball joint that's gone bad. Mainly if the tire is going in up here, that's upper ball joint. If it's going in on the bottom, it's lower ball joint. In and out like that, that's inner and outer tie rods. So if you got a lot of play like that, got brand new hubs, and I got 2-wheel drive. So yeah, check your ball joints, check your inner and outer tie rods. Most likely it's one of those. What's the dream truck? And by the way, love the cat eye. Thanks, man. Dream truck, probably be a 15 to 19 Denali Duramax. Definitely got to be a dream truck. Probably like a 2018, 2019, fully loaded Denali Duramax. Probably black. That way, if I ever wanted to wrap it, wouldn't be too hard to do a color change. But yeah, definitely Denali Duramax. What kind of upper control arms do you recommend? And that seems like a hell of a deal on a body lift. I'm thinking about doing it myself on mine. Upper control arms, I recommend spindle source. I've had my spindle source for, I think, 2.5 years now, and just took them off a couple days ago to start painting the suspension. And driver side ball joint still perfectly fine, just the boot has a crack in it. Passenger side ball joint is just now starting to a little play. That's 2.5 years on 14 wides, so that's pretty impressive for ball joints. So I definitely recommend spindle source. I got the same thing done to my truck as you. Yeah, so I'm guessing with the squeak, it's probably inner and outer tie rods or ball joints. Make sure your upper control arms are greased, your ball joints are greased. and then check your inner and outer tie rods. That's just about all I could think about for squeak. Maybe sway bar. It really depends on when the squeak is coming, depends on what you're doing. And then we have another question from Instagram. Name some of your favorite cat eye builds. So Cat Eye Drippin' was the one that asked this. His truck is one of my favorites. He's got a super clean truck. He used to have a four-door Cat Eye that had the bulletproof 14 to 18 inch lift. It was on 40s. Truck was absolutely insane. Now he has a four-wheel drive that I think has like 20 inches of lift. It's on 42s, I believe. It's insane. Murderado, I think his name's John Manning. His truck, I actually have screenshots of when I first got my Cat Eye. I wanted my Cat Eye to look like his, and now his is on 40s and 28 by 14s. It's just an absolutely insane truck. Then we've got Nick, LLY. He's got the full truck on bags on all four corners. It's absolutely insane. Then we've got Nick Grizz, a friend of mine. I absolutely love his truck. We've got Spencer Driscoll, full solid axle swap truck. Love it. It's still in the process of being built, but I absolutely love it. Then we've got It's Ham. If you guys haven't already, go subscribe to It's Ham's channel. Love his Duramax. And there's probably some other ones. Mile High Duramax is one of the ones that I absolutely love. And there's some other ones I'm probably forgetting. It's hard to just name them all off, but I follow all of them on Instagram. Possibly rotted controller and bushings. Yeah, definitely could be that. If it's happening when you're hitting bumps, it's something in your suspension. So it could honestly even be like a bushing on your shock that is loose, and that could be squeaking. What's up, Caden? Dead Gaming, love the channel and DIY videos. Both your trucks are badass. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. What's up, Twisty? That's one of the winners of the giveaway. Congratulations, Twisty. Hey, Aaron, just want to say both of your trucks are coming out sick. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. That means a lot. I appreciate it. What's the lift on the rear end of your truck? Just 6-inch blocks and springs. So it's all stock springs, and I believe the blocks that came with Rough Country are 5-inch. So it's just the 5-inch blocks in the rear. I'm not running shocks. Well, you might want to run shocks. That might help smoothen out some of the ride. Yeah, try putting shocks in and see if some of the absorption from the shocks helps stop some of that squeaking, because that could be that you're having a lot of movement and bouncing in the front end. If you've got a two-wheel drive and you're lifted, your coil springs, I know that. So if you're hitting a bump, you could be going up and down, just bouncing on the coil springs, and that could be causing something to squeak. Can't wait to see your Ford at Daytona. It looks massive in your Instagram post. Oh, dude, it's absolutely massive. It's the first truck I've ever had that I actually have to work to get inside of. Because how tall I am, I know you guys can't tell in videos, but I'm a very, very large person. And the Chevy, I barely have to jump to get into. But the Ford, I actually have to put my all into it to get in that truck. Looking at a big lift for my 04 Sierra two-wheel drive. Any suggestions? Depends on what you're wanting to run. One of the biggest lifts that's budget friendly, it's about $2,500, is the 8-inch FTS. Once you go bigger than that, you're looking at the 14 to 18 from Bulletproof, and just the 14-inch lift starting out is $5,000. So if you're wanting to spend like $1,400, you could do the 6-inch Rough Country lift and 2-inch Max Track lift springs like I've got on my truck, and it's about 7.5 to 8 inches overall. Or you could do the 8-inch FTS. I can't wait for the Daytona videos. I can't wait for Daytona to be here either. I'm super stoked for it. And then more Instagram questions. We've got a shout out from Mile High Duramax. I'll always shout him out. Thanks to him being my sugar daddy and buying the mirrors on my truck. Best YouTube moment or memory. Okay, so let's think. What is the best moment or memory from doing YouTube? I'll probably say last year in Daytona. Last year was probably one of the best moments from YouTube, is because that was the first time I ever had anybody from like YouTube come up and say that they watched my videos. That's when I met Robert and Nick and Spencer, and I met Denver. I met all these different people in Daytona that had all watched my videos, and it was a super like humbling experience to be able to have people to come up to me and say, hey, I watch your videos. So probably Daytona of last year, because that was the first like real time I had people come up to me and say they watched my videos. So definitely got to be that. Looking to spend 5K. So if you're wanting a massive lift for 5K, I say the 14 to 18 bulletproof kit. You can start out at 5K for the 14. When you upgrade, you can get, I believe it's the 4-inch lift spindles, and that's what makes it up to the 18-inch. So if you want, I think it's like 6,500 in total for the 18-inch. So definitely try that. You can run real big tires with that. Need your opinion. Should I wrap my truck Costa Blue? Hell yeah. That would look sick. Most likely with your chrome wheels, that would look sick. See you in Daytona. Hell yeah, man. I'll see you there. Just so you know, I'm taking a poop while watching this. Sweet. I wish I could do that, but I'd probably get flagged for like pornography or something. Do your neighbors ever give you problems because of your trucks, or are they pretty laid back? All of them are actually like really laid back. I've never had someone here complain about the trucks. I actually have multiple people stopping and talking to me about them. So the people next door, every time they come home and I'm outside working on the truck, they always ask me what I'm doing, what I'm changing on it. I've had neighbors from down the road stop and say they've been watching me for the last couple days and painting my truck and just curious on what I'm doing. Ever since I got the setup on the Ford, I've had random people stop at my house that I've never talked to. I've had companies stop at the house and talk to me about the truck. Yeah, so just kind of, it's like a business billboard out front of my house that every time they drive by, they have to stop and talk about it. When you build an Lexus. So I've thought about it. Because it's a 5x4.5 lug pattern. Not gonna lie, I thought about putting some like 20x10s on it and some like 28-inch tires and just absolutely killing the internet, but I don't have like an extra $2,000 to just waste on a set of rims and tires for it. So if you guys want to smash that subscribe button and get the ad revenue going up through the roof, I'll do some crazy shit to it. But until then, it's gotta stay a beater, and it leaks quite a bit of freaking oil. So if I do anything, it's gotta be fixing that. I do have 26x10 rims. Don't know the offset was for my drop Chevy. Should I chalk it? Like chuck it or what? And get something wider? If it's for a dropped Chevy, I say stay with the 10 wides, because then you're gonna get into issues where you're trying to turn the wheel and your tires be rubbing inside your fender and everything. So unless you're doing some like tubbed fenders or something. What year is your OBS truck? It's a 85. I had to think about that for a second, but it's an 85. It's 36 years old for my lift build. Yeah, if you've got a lifted truck, I definitely say I would do some like 26x12s for a lift. Get them a nice little poke outside the fender. Definitely think that'll look good. Now, most memorable moment since I started building trucks. That's another Instagram question from earlier. So this is a funny one. Most memorable moment, when I read this earlier, the first thing that came to mind was back in, I think it was 2015, for, I think it was the second Daytona truck meet. It was the second or third ever Daytona truck meet. Me and my buddy Justin Dillamone we drove there in two separate vehicles, and we were on our way back, and he rear-ended me. But 3 days before, I had bought a rear bumper from his neighbor, and I spent all day getting my old rusted bumper off, sanded the new bumper down, completely painted it, was so happy with it, taking pictures. I bought new taillights from him and everything. And 3 days later, he rear-ended me, ruined the bumper, ruined my taillights, and smashed the whole side of my bed in. So that's probably the most memorable moment. That's not like an, oh my God, best thing ever. It's just something funny that that was the first thing that came to my head. Is I spent an entire day changing out taillights, fixing this bumper, painting it, getting it all looking right for the Daytona truck meet. And the guy I bought everything from rear-ended me 3 days later and ruined all of it. Thanks for the input, no problem. I remember I used to see you around here in Lady Lake. Yep, I just moved up here in January. But you'll probably still see the trucks around there, because I still have a lot of my friends live there, and we'll be taking the trucks down there. Have your wider tires ever given you any issues with rock chips? Yeah, I had a tear in my wrap in a couple different places from rock chips. Opinion on squat, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I squatted the Ford as jokes and things like that. In like 3 inches of squat, isn't bad. The Ford squats 3 inches right now as it sits. It doesn't look like it because of how big it is, but it squats 3 inches right now. It's not bad. Once you go over 3 inches, I think it looks like crap. And when I squatted the Ford, I think it had like 11 inches of squat at the most squatted point. I couldn't see anything in front of me at all. I mean, pulling into my driveway is like 12 foot wide, 12, 15 foot wide, super wide driveway. I couldn't even see my mailbox. Like, couldn't pull into my driveway straight, anything like that, because I couldn't see. So the fact that there's people that drive those trucks on the road is absolutely terrifying. So I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. If you want my real opinion, I feel the same way about Whistling Diesel with that blue truck that he bought. 99% of the squatted trucks that are out here on Instagram flexing and somehow blowing up in clout, most of them are hack jobs where they've got their bump stops cut, they've got some weird stuff welded in there to make it drivable on the road, and they're just absolutely dangerous. So not a fan of squat whatsoever. Have you ever thought about putting a Starlight headliner in your cat eye? Yes, I wanted to do it before Daytona, but with the cost of paint and just doing everything that I didn't foresee coming, I didn't think that was me replacing some my lower ball joints and doing all these different things. I wanted to do it before Daytona, but it definitely will be happening after Daytona. Yeah, man, you inspire so much. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I try to put off positive vibes and everything for everyone. Saw your headlight video for your OBS. I was wondering if you had aftermarket taillights as well. Yes, I have a Spider aftermarket taillights, and what a lot of people don't know, and I will make a video on it to cover it because a lot of people don't know about it, is 80 to 96, the OBS Ford just full year range from 1980 to 96. That's when you had the bull nose, you had the brick nose, and you had the arrow nose. All of the taillights are universal. So people think 80 to 86, you can only use those taillights on those trucks. You can go all the way up to 96. And they started making really cool taillights for the 90s models. They didn't make any of them for the 80s models, so it's hard to find them unless you just buy some of the specialty clears, which I think aren't all that cool, but a lot of people love them. They're just clear lenses. But when you get up into the 90s models, they start making pretty cool taillights for them. And that's when I found out, is I bought a set from my buddy, and then 3 days later, he rear-ended me and ruined them. But the ones on my truck are actually meant for a 92 to 96, but the body lines line up perfectly, screw holes line up perfectly, bulb holes are perfect. So yes, I have aftermarket ones, and I'll make a video because I do have to replace them because they are pretty sun faded. Damn, bro, I'm late to the party. Yeah, I already did your shout out and everything. I'm looking for some American racing wheels or centerline for my 80 short box if anyone has any. Big place to check is like Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups. A lot of people, they have them in their shed, or someone bought a house and found them in their shed and stuff like that, and they sell them for really cheap. I can't believe I found your user on your car that day. It was insane. So you found the YouTube sticker on my back window? There's a lot of people have sent me pictures of my truck because of that. So if so, that's pretty cool. That was very helpful. Thank you. No problem. You speak more important facts than my teacher could have ever. Hey, I was never a fan of school. I never liked school. I always felt like they were just teaching you pointless stuff and nothing was ever really going to help you out in the real world. So hopefully I'm doing better than that. Yeah. Hey, that's pretty freaking cool. A lot of people have sent me pictures of my truck from behind with my YouTube sticker on the back window. Sorry, I got to leave a little early. Have a good night. Keep up the good work. Love the channel. Appreciate that, Dawson, bro. Have a good night. So let's ask another question from Instagram. Hardest part about being a YouTuber. So hardest part about being a YouTuber is, God, there's a lot. Editing. Editing sucks. Talking to a camera in public is super, super freaking awkward. And probably one of the most controversial ones is dealing with hate. So dealing with hate, you can either retaliate and you can argue with them, you can let it go, or you can turn around and just kill them with kindness. It's probably one of the best ways is to kill them with kindness, because then they don't get what they wanted out of it. A lot of times people are just super rude, and they think that they're going to put you down and ruin your day. And if you turn around and you're super nice to them, they're kind of like, whoa, not what I was expecting. And maybe they'll turn around and be nice to somebody else. So I get a lot of hate comments for not having shocks in the Ford. It looks super dangerous, and the angle of my radius arms is terrible, or my steering setup's terrible, or I'm poor and I'm not buying the right stuff, or why would you lift a two-wheel drive truck, and why you put all that money into a two-wheel drive, and pavement princess, you're never gonna go off-roading with that, and just nonstop. People are hateful. So that's probably one of the hardest parts about YouTube, is just dealing with hate comments, because you put your everything into it. And for my first year and a half of YouTube, I never made a single dollar off YouTube. First year and a half, I spent thousands of dollars making these videos on filming equipment, computer equipment, editing software, parts to make videos, and just all these different things to make videos. And you don't make any money back until you're monetized. And even after you're monetized, you don't make that much money. So that's probably one of the hardest things about YouTube, is to keep a positive mindset when there's constant negativity being thrown at you. So when you get people that message you and say how much you inspire them, and how your videos have helped them build their trucks and everything, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world, because that's the whole reason I do it, is to help you guys. If I can save you guys some money on doing something yourself, or if I can even just teach you on how to do something yourself, it's probably one of the best things about YouTube. Like me painting my truck in my garage. I've messed up four different times now painting the truck. And once I get everything figured out, that's a video for you guys to learn from. Be like, hey, he did it this way and messed up, so I don't have to learn from doing it that way. I can do it the way that he did and got the right result. And I can just save you guys that process of learning. You guys can learn through watching me make my mistakes and learn from it. That's why I don't hide anything from you guys. If I mess up, I tell you. I'm not going to try and hide it, because there's no point in it. It's a learning experience, and that's what humbles people. So went on a big rant about that, but that's one of the hardest parts about YouTube, is just negative people trying to put you down and trying to keep your head up with that. Do you have an audio system in your truck? The OBS. So I have a 600-watt Memphis amp underneath the seat, and I have two Kicker shallow mount 12s, and I have Sony Explode speakers behind the seat and in the doors, and just a cheap $20 Bluetooth radio from Walmart. So yeah, it's kind of an audio system, but not really. I'm not big into audio. I'm not big into bass. I'm more big into like making it look sweet and have rims and tires, have a big lift, have a cool color on it, everything like that. Never really bid it. I've never been big into audio. It's always kind of confused me a little bit, because you start talking ohms and RMS and different wattages and different wire sizes and different, you got 4 channels, 2 channels, you've got all these different things, and it's really confusing. If you can sit down and spend a lot of time with someone that knows what they're doing with it, knows what they're talking about, you can learn from it. But besides that, it's like really confusing to learn on your own, so I've never gotten really big into it. How are you liking the newer job? I like doing DoorDash. I like doing it a lot. It's a little bit weird to say to people like, oh, what do you do for work? Oh, I deliver food. Like, that sounds stupid, but it's nice to have the freedom to go work 4 hours one day and not work another 4 days. I can spend a lot of time doing YouTube. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but uploads have been a lot more frequently because I have more time to make the videos. So I do like that part about it. I hate when other YouTubers talk crap about other YouTubers' channels. Drives me insane. Yeah, you and I have talked about that before, Denver, of other YouTubers talking down on me. I'm trying to stay away from stuff like that. I'd rather just stay positive and just put off a positive offset towards other people. Only talk highly about other people. I don't want to talk down about anybody. Let other people do their things, and I'm just going to keep doing me, keep grinding, and just keep posting videos for you guys. That's what it's all about. Why do people care if a truck goes off-road? What's wrong with the pavement princess? So what's funny is like 95% of the people that comment stuff like that are all the ones that, one, either have an absolute beat-up truck, or two, they have a bone stock truck that's 4-wheel drive and they never use the 4-wheel drive. So I will say my next truck that I buy will be four-wheel drive. We'll just put that out there. My next truck I buy will be four-wheel drive because it's nice to have it as a backup. I've only been stuck in the Chevy, I think like 4 times, and it was all off-roading. It was never like, oh, I pulled off on the side of the road and got stuck. No, it was all off-roading, going out in mud holes and sugar sand trails, stuff like that when I first got the truck. But it is very nerve-wracking. Like if you're driving on the beach at Daytona, at the Daytona Truck Meet, you have a lot of people that tear up the driving area, and they fine you. It's like $280 if you get stuck on the beach, and it's pretty freaking nerve-wracking when your tires start spinning and stuff and you don't have a backup plan to get pulled out or don't know anyone out there to pull you out. So next truck I buy will have that backup feature of four-wheel drive. I'm about to wrap my truck for Daytona. Any tips you can give me? Do it inside if at all possible. Because if you do it outside like I did, you risk getting stuff underneath of it, which happened to me. You risk weather being a factor in it. If you're doing it in direct sunlight, it's a big pain in the butt. The sun heats up the wrap. You can overstretch it easily. It sticks a lot more when it's hot, so you could be trying to pull it up and you're stretching it. Does it stick in more because it's hot? But be ready to have a lot of patience. Wrapping takes a lot of patience. Probably one of the mentally hardest things I've ever done, because you kind of just get to the point where you're like, I'm tired of doing this. I just want the truck done. And you just start getting frustrated at everything. I think I spent about 50 hours wrapping the truck. I can say now I already have more time into painting the truck now than I did wrapping it. But wrapping it, you're just doing the same thing. It's not like you're doing body work or trying to sand and polish something. You're just basically putting a big sticker on that wants to wrinkle up or wants to bubble, or you cut it wrong. Now you have to redo the entire thing. It just gets kind of aggravating after a little while. So be ready to have a lot of patience. Chance, I'd rather not answer your question just because that's pretty controversial, and I'd rather stay clear of that. I gotta head out. I'll keep you updated on my square body build on Instagram. Take care, Aaron. Thanks, Northland Trucks. Have a good night. If you could color your truck any other color, what would it be? So I had plans of changing the color of the Chevy, and then a couple of my friends talked me out of it. It was like, hey, everyone loves the purple, keep it purple. But I do plan on changing the color of the Ford. If I've got like 3 colors I would like to choose from. One's like a Tiffany blue. I really like a deep blue. And then I've always wanted to do like a wine red. So like a purplish dark red. I've always liked that color. So it'd probably be somewhere in those 3 colors. You have advice for someone with low income trying to get tires, lift, and wheels. Should you buy all at once or a process? So that's how I started my channel. I still have a low income. I'm not a baller whatsoever. But if you're wanting to get lift, rims, and tires, I have a video of how you can get setups for free. So just trading. I started with a stock set of rims and tires. I spent 50 bucks on a set of spray painted 20-inch rims, sold them for $260, used $250 to go buy a set of 20 by 10s, traded those for a set of 20 by 14s, and I just went up from there. I bought my lift spindles used off Facebook Marketplace for 100 bucks, and then ended up selling those in a leveling kit for $200, and went and bought my Rough Country 6-inch lift. I drove 2 states away with 3 of my friends and bought my Rough Country lift for $450. So it's just being patient, and if you want to buy it used, you can. If not, if you're wanting to buy it all brand new, just save up your money, and in that case, I would buy it all at once. If you're wanting to buy everything new, if not, you can try the trading and try trading until you get a setup that you like I did with my Forces, or you can buy everything new. A lot of people that are new to my channel don't know, but I only have $750 in my American Forces with my 37s. And when I got the 37s, they only had 15,000 miles on them. So $750 and a $5,000 setup, I think, is pretty good, but it did take me 2.5 years to achieve that. No worries, Chance. I just try to stay clear of that just because that's controversial. You could have some people that get upset whether you do or don't get it and just rather not deal with that on the internet. Have you seen the new sets of Archons? Yes, I saw them. The red-haired guy, his Bronco that they're doing the LS swap on. I can't remember his name, but I saw them when they put them on his Bronco. Do like those. If you had the chance to build any vehicle at no cost what would it be and how would you build it? So I would, that's a tough one. Kind of like had one go right off my head and I kind of changed my mind. It'd be a 4-door 92 to 97 OBS F350 Power Stroke single wheelbase. I would do some like crazy color on it, like super metallic teal or like mango orange, like something super crazy color. Do like 20-inch full 4-link kit on some like 30x16s, 44-inch boggers, full powder coated suspension, full custom interior, iPad dash, like fiberglass dash, fiberglass door panels, just all out full SEMA build. If it didn't cost me anything, I would love to do all the work. I would love to build something like that, but that's where you start talking about stuff like that. I'm just going to throw this out there for all the people who want to lift their truck. Fix it first. Don't spend $2,000 on a lift and tires when your truck's rusted to, yeah, I agree. So when I first bought my truck, I bought my truck in 2016. The first year and couple months I had it, it was a little over a year, I did nothing but replace brakes, U-joints, all the belts, water pump, replaced all my AC pulleys, blower motor, AC condenser, replaced all rotors, all brake pads, all calipers. I replaced basically the entire drivetrain, replaced a lot of the stuff on the interior, and then I finally got my lift spindles and leveling kit and rims and tires. But I had to do a lot of maintenance on that truck because everything was going out right after I got it. What's your thoughts on Jeeps? I've been wanting to get one since. What's your thoughts on Jeeps? I've been wanting to get one when I get my license. I love Jeeps. I would love to build a Wrangler one day. I think it's super cool how you can have a 3-inch lift and fit 37s. Like, that just blows my mind that you can just do 3-inch lift springs and fit 37s. Like, insane. So I definitely think they're cool. There's one here local to me that I wish I knew the guy. It's a white Jeep Wrangler and it's supercharged and it's on like 42s. It's insane. It's on like 42s with like a 6-inch lift. Like the 42s are stuffed up in the fender well. It's on coilovers. Every time he hits the gas, you just hear it whistle and it lifts the whole front end. It's awesome. But yeah, Jeeps are cool. And then one of our last ones from Instagram is, it's not a question, but your truck inspired me to build mine. Now it's complete. Like I was saying earlier, those messages right there can make someone's whole day because they sure make mine. That is the coolest thing, to get messages from people saying how I inspired them, how they were afraid to work on their truck, they were afraid to paint it, afraid to do body work, and like that. They watched my videos 15, 20 times and finally worked up the courage to do it. So stuff like that is super freaking cool. I absolutely love that. Can I send you my OBS build on Instagram? And can you give me your thoughts? Yeah, of course, Oscar. Send it over. If you're not already following me, it's at Aaron Cates. Send it over, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. And I'm not gonna be like harsh or anything. And if you want any input, any advice, I'll gladly help you. I try to respond to everybody that I can on Instagram. A lot of the times, if I've answered the question 15, 20 times, I try not to respond to it because that shows me that you didn't even look at my profile. Like when people message me and say, hey, what's your lift setup, or what size rims and tires are you running? I normally don't respond to that because it's in every single post I make on Instagram. If you look right below the picture, there's a whole list of every single thing that's on both trucks. So if you message me something like, hey, what rims and tires are you running? I'm most likely not going to respond. But if you actually message me looking for advice on something that I haven't answered 1,000 times before, I will gladly respond to you and help you in whatever way I can. You guys got any more questions for me before I hop off here tonight? One more thing I want to talk about with you guys is I'll be posting a video of getting the move bumper on the truck. We painted the move bumper, matches the truck, got it mounted, and it looks freaking sick. But the next couple of videos coming, I'm a couple videos ahead right now, but we've got the suspension painted. It looks insane. We got the roof wrapped. It looks great, but I'll give you guys a heads up now. We are repainting the truck. I won't go into full detail, but you guys can follow that. The paint is a little bit messed up, but I am going to be repainting it again. Same color, but have to repaint the whole thing. Should I get a mullet? Hell yeah, brother. I need to trim my mullet up a little bit. Got to trim the sides, but yeah, get a mullet. Working on mine now. I feel that. I worked on mine a lot today. I'm actually covered in paint as we speak. Doesn't seem to come off. You think YouTube is ready for the LTZ build? Hell no, they're not. So if you guys haven't already, go follow my buddy Brandon at Brandon_LTZ. About to put a nice super lift on his truck and some Calis on some 35s. It's gonna look sick. Painting that suspension as well. Can't wait to get that done. You guys will see that in Daytona as well. He'll be probably everywhere I'm at. All right, guys, get your last couple questions in. We've been on here for about 47 minutes. Bet I'll keep growing it out then. Yeah, I'm growing mine out until probably November. I'm getting married in December, and unfortunately, the lady won't let me rock the mullet at the wedding. So, gonna cut it in November, and then probably grow it back out again. How bad was a solid axle swap on the bullnose? Debating going Dana 60 or Super Duty axles, but I'm kind of scared to mess with the radius arms and coil springs. Leafs I'm not as scared of. Okay, so I'm probably going to do it over. I'm probably going to put a Dana 60 in the front of the truck, do coilovers on it and everything. But if right now you don't have anything you're working on, you don't have any axles, anything like that, save up, buy Super Duty axles. One, they make thousands of kits for the radius arms for Super Duty axles. You won't have to worry about custom building any of them. They made plenty of them. I think it's WFO makes the coil towers for it. Look up Logan Bechtel on YouTube. He's got an extended cab bullnose that he's putting Super Duty axles on. It's about the same height as my bullnose, and he's covered quite a few different things of everything he's doing on it. He's putting a Cummins in it for one, but he's got Super Duty axles. He's got the aftermarket coil spring buckets that you have to mount on the frame. He shows how to mount them. He shows the axles, the teardown process, the getting everything mocked up, getting everything painted. So if you're curious on doing Super Duty axles, I do suggest looking him up. Like I said, it's Logan Bechtel, Bechdel, I believe. But I would go Super Duty axles if I were you. Unless you want to do custom work, then you could do Dana 60 front and rear on like coilovers. Unless you want to do leaf springs don't ride the greatest. But I do plan on putting a Dana 60 in the front of the Ford and putting it on coilovers. In full 4-link and everything, but I have to get a bigger welder before I start doing stuff like that because my little 110 cannot handle it. Got any more questions? Okay, well, guys, I'm going to hop off here. Thank you guys for joining the live. Thank you guys for dropping a like on the live. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, join the build. We got another video dropping tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.